Hello students, welcome to the virtual class. Myself Sagar Mahale, your virtual class teacher, will be teaching you English standard 9th. Let's start our syllabus. The first poem known as 1.1 Walk a Little Slow. The title of this poetry gives a deep message. To walk a little slow. Somebody is saying to walk a little slower. Then who is saying and to whom? Actually, this poetry is written by a poet which is not known by anybody around the globe. But the poem is popular around the globe. It's very famous because it's completely related to a relationship between a father and a child, maybe boy or a girl, but a relationship of father and a son or daughter, where the son or daughter is addressing the father that you should walk a little slow. Now, why the son or daughter is addressing like that? Let me give you some previous knowledge about this poem. Actually, this poem, Walk a Little Slower, is a beautiful poem in which the poet talks about the child and depicts that every child wants to follow his dad, his or her dad. The poet tells this by talking about a child walking with his father and saying him to walk alongside him. He also said his father to walk slowly and show him the right path. You have seen many small children around you. They hold the hands of their dad and they walk in a park or on a street or a road. You can see the child is having full confidence and trust in his father that he is not going to harm him or her. And a child always have trust in his father. That's why the poet is saying father is an ideal role for his son or daughter. The way father behaves, the way father acts, all things are imitated by the child. And this is the poetry about. Let's read the stanzas of the poem. First stanza. Walk a little slower, Daddy, said a little child so small. I am following in your footsteps, and I don't want to fall. Sometimes your steps are very fast. Sometimes they are hard to see. So walk a little slower, Daddy, for you are leading me. Someday, when I am all grown up, you are what I want to be. Then I will have a little child who will want to follow me. And I would want to lead just right and know that I was true. So walk a little slower, Daddy, for I must follow you. So these are the stanzas of the poem. By reading it, you might have understood a bit that how the child is convincing his or her dad that how he should walk. Here walking is referred to all the actions we act in our entire life. You are in 9th standard now. After 5 to 6 years, you will be having a degree in your hand, and after that you will marry. Then you will have kids. These 5 to 6 years will build you, your behavior, your character, your career. In these 5 to 6 years, you will become a person, and that person, good or bad, whatever it will be, it will directly have an effect on your kids. So we have to decide whether we have to become a good person or a bad person. Because after a few years, our child, be a girl or a boy, they will look at you, they will look at us, and they will see what my father is doing and how he is behaving in this world, in this society. His respect, his virtues, his principles, the same are imitated by the child. And that child will become just like you after his adolescence period, or you can say after his teenage period. Every child wants to become like his or her dad, because every child believes that their life hero, that their idol of worship is only their parents, especially father, a role model in their life. Father plays a role model. And that's why the poet says a child is talking to his or her dad that walk a little slower so that I can be in your footsteps. I can be under your shadow. I want to be like you. Whenever I will be grown up, when I will have my child, I will make him like me, means like indirectly like you. Because these generations passed on one to another. This is a knowledge which our grandfather passed on our father, and our father is passing on to us, and we will pass on to our child. Now let's understand stanza by stanza what the poet wants to convey to his readers. Walk a little slower, daddy, said a little child so small. I am following in your footsteps and I don't want to follow. Means, in short, a small child is addressing his father that you walk carefully and slowly so that I can put my footsteps exactly in your footprints, so that I will follow you in the race of this life, and I will become so much alike you. And he is saying, walk a little slower and carefully, because I don't want to fall. If you fall, I will definitely fall behind you. If you stand straight, I will stand straight behind you. I'm following in your footsteps, and I really don't want to fall. Sometimes your steps are very fast. Sometimes they are hard to see. So walk a little slower, daddy, for you are leading me. Here, the child's desire to follow the footsteps of his or her father. Their father is their first role model for every child. The child is actually the narrator of the poem, which is trying to convince us in this stanza that sometimes my father's steps are so fast that I cannot see them, I cannot follow them. They cannot actually tackle with that thing. That's why he all of a sudden screams and says, Daddy, please walk a little slower, because you are the role model of my life. You are leading me. You are the one which I want to be in the future. This poem is so futuristic that even though the narrator is only a child, it thinks about the future of its child. The child is so intelligent in this poem. Actually, the child is himself as the poet. And this poem indicates good things. This poem gives a message. Now, after explaining two stanzas, you might have understood that this poem, the basic idea of the poem is indicating good things. They want to be the generation after generation good, because if a father is good, then his son will automatically become good. If the son is good, then his son will become good. If his son is good, then his son will become good. That means the generation and generation will become good, good and good. That's why the poet and the poetry, they both have a bigger vision, a futuristic vision. Someday when I'm all grown up, you are what I want to be. Then I will have a little child who will want to follow. After a few days, when I will be grown up, I will be doing a job, then I will get married, then I will have my own child. I will have my own child. At that time, I want to become like you. I want to become a father like you. The way you molded me, the way you treated me, I want to treat and mold my child the same. I want to make my child also like you, and his child also like you. If you are good, then all our generation will be good. Then I will have a little child who will want to follow, because I also want my child to treat me as his life's role model. And the last stanza, and I would want to lead just right and know that I was true. So walk a little slower, Daddy, for I must follow you. So, as in the last stanza, when the child says to dad that, Dad, if you become right, I will become right, and if I will become right, then I will lead my child also on the right direction. And at that time I can conclude that my father was right, and I am molding my son also, my kid also right. And that time I can say that I was true, that my father was a great role model, and that's why I could become a great role model for my kid. So walk a little slower, Daddy, for I must follow you. Because every child has been gifted by God with a father and a mother. So students, remember one sentence in your life. Never ever forget your parents, because they will never forget you. Your friends, your colleagues, all might forget you one day, but your parents, they will never ever forget you, because they are the role model. They are the natural caretakers gifted by God to us. And that's why if you want to follow, or if you want to have a role model in your life, just watch your father and mother, how hardworking they are and how they are treating you and what they expect from you. Follow your dad, follow your mom, follow their virtues, follow their principles, do as they said, and see, one day you will be a very successful man or woman. And that's all in this poetry written by a known author, which we can also call as anonymous poet. So let's move on to the rhyming words of this poem. The rhyming words are small, fall, see, me, be, me, true, you. I hope you have understood this poem. While ending this lecture, I would like to give you a small idea of the poem once again. The poem Walk a Little Slower is a beautiful poem written by an anonymous poet, which reflects a child's desire to follow the footsteps of his or her father. The father is their first role model for every child. The child, the narrator of the poem, also wants to follow his father's way and request him to go a bit slow by which he could follow his father. The footsteps denote the actual steps of the life, and the child wishes to follow his father's way to deal with life. The poem is so futuristic, as I said in the third stanza, that even though the narrator is only a child, it thinks about the future of his own child. The poem indicates good things should be passed on generation after generation. The poem is constructed with an impressive rhyming pattern, with all alternating lines rhyming words like, as we saw just now, small fall, see me, true you, be me. The entire poem is based on metaphors. My favorite line in this poem is, "You are what I want to be." So students, can you tell me which was your favorite line? So now let's end our lecture here. Thank you very much.